Okay guys, welcome back to the third video of the Firebase Firestore tutorial series. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys that how to get back values from the Firestore. So before that, I'm going to make a few changes into our activity underscore main.xml. I'm going to add three fields which are free edit text to store the values into our Firestore. First one would be an edit text for the username, which will be document ID inside our Firestore username et, and then I'm going to have another name over here that would be user city name. Here I'm going to pass few hints. Enter username with the max length of 20. Okay, enter your name, and this would be below of the name et, and hint would be enter user city. Okay, and max length would be 30. Okay, so I'm going to copy this code, making a new text view over here, and I'm going to change it to email it, and it would say enter user email, and this would be below of user it added text. Okay, and this button will be below of user email it. Okay, and now we'll ask the user to add values from here. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is to get those values back into our application. For that, I'm going to create a new button, and this button would be get values, get data, and this would be get btn. Instead of user email edit text, this will be below of add btn. Okay, and here get values from Firebase, this will be get values from Firebase, get values, and I will create this method later from Firebase. Okay, and next thing we are going to do is to display the values inside our text view. So I'm going to create a text view over here. Text view would be match parent wrap content, and going to give it an id, and id would be like values text view. Okay, and this would be below of get btn. Okay, that's it for this. I'm going back into our main activity. First, I'm going to remove this and going to get the edit text that we have created over here. Username et. I'm going to name it username et, user city et, and user email et. After, I'm going to connect these Java objects with the XML. And we have also created a text view. For that purpose, I'm going to create that text view, and I would say values text view, and I am here. I'm going to connect that values text view equals to find view by id r dot values text view. Okay, so we are done with connecting our Java object of edit text and text view with our XML objects. Okay, so in the next step, I'm going to make change to our add values to Firebase method. I'm going to remove this. Before removing that, I'm just going to check that nobody enters the null value into our application. So for that, I'm going to make a check that user name et that getText dot toString dot is empty. It should not be true. And after that, I'm going to use the AND operator, and I'm going to say not equal to user ctet dot getText dot toString, and after that not equal to user email editText dot getText dot getText dot toString dot is empty. Oh, I forgot that. We should also check that it should not be empty. And after that, we have to create if part, and if anyone enters null value, we should say the toast that please fill all fields. Okay, next thing I'm going to change is to make changes over here, that if we want to city, we have to get it from the user city editText dot getText dot toString, and similar with the email user email editText dot getText dot toString, and inside our document path, which we will provide a document name dot getText dot toString. So that's it. Now we can dynamically add values into our collections. Next thing I'm going to do is to create a method through which we are going to get values. Public void get values from Firebase. To make it clickable, I'm going to pass the view object, and again I'm going to call try and catch. Okay, next thing is an important thing. Now, as we have created the object of Firestore, to get the values back into your application, you have to call the object of document reference. So I'm going to create the object of document reference. Which class? Document reference. Next, you are going to initialize this document reference with inside your onCreate method by saying object document reference would be equal to object Firebase start, and from which section you want to get the data. That was YouTube data. Okay, next thing you have to tell the document that which document you're going to get, and we will get this document from our username and a text that every time user will enter that name document ID over here, and we will click on this get data, and the document data with the document ID which we will enter over here will be displayed over here. So I'm going to say, before that I'm going to make a check over here of username it dot get text to string is empty, and this should not be true. Okay, and we should allow it to enter that value inside this document. I'm going to move it to the next field, user et.getText.toString. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to cut this whole code from here and going to paste it over here. Okay, so as we have initialized our document reference object, next thing we are going to do is we're going to call the document reference dot get, and after that you just have to add on success listener, new on success listener, and after that if we don't get the values back, then on failure listener equals to new on failure listener, and here you just have to pass the those that fails to get values back. Okay, but what if just close it, in case you get the values back, here's the method that provided by the add-on success listener, which on success it provides us a document snapshot. Document snapshot is a class which contains the data that will be returned from the collections and the document that we just have initialized our document reference with. So all our data that we want to get is stored inside this object. We just have to get that data. Okay, so first of all, we have stored three things inside our collections. Let me take you back into our browser so that I can explain how many values we have stored over here. So as you can see that we have stored only one document, and then we have two fields, which is city and email, and we want to get the document ID and the fields of city and email inside this document. Okay, so first of all I'm going to say string username, definitely that would be document ID, would equal to document snapshot dot get ID, and it will return us ID. Next thing I'm going to store is to user city, and this would be equal to document snapshot dot get string, and string we have to pass the name of field that was city actually, and in the next step you have to get the user email. Okay, and email was, again we have to call the document snapshot get string, and string this time was email. Okay, now we have to put these values into our text view, which was values text view dot set text. Here I'm going to pass the three fields. First one is name. I would say name plus username, and then I want it to get us on the next line. Okay, and the second thing would be city, and city would be user city. Okay, and then again I want it to take us to the next line, and that was next thing is to show the email. Okay, and this would show us email, user email, and that's it. We are done with our get values from the Firebase method as well. We just have to run the application and check if it is getting value was back from the Firestore or not. Okay, so let me run the application. Okay, as you can see that our application is up and running. So I'm going to open the browser as well for us so that we can see that whether we are getting values or not. Okay, so I will be adding values from here. First I'm going to check whether it is working with the empty fields or not. Okay, so I'm trying to get, so please fill all them, so it is working. Next thing is to add the city. I would say that my city is London and email will be e@yahoo.com. Just add, click on add values. So data is stored and you can see that data is also appeared with the iSunny unique document ID. So going to get this value back into our header text, just click on the get data. Okay, there you go. Okay, next thing I'm going to get the values of this Sunny. I'm just going to put Sunny over here and let me get data. As you can see that we don't have city inside the Sunny document, we have country over here, so it's why this is displaying the null value over here. If our document does not contain a particular field that we are trying to access, it would simply return us a null value. Okay, and the next step I'm going to teach you, show you guys that if you want to add the new values the same document ID, it would simply override the previous value. So in this case I'm going to say New York, and I'm going to add the new values, and it will simply replace the existing values. It did not create a new field with the same ID. If you're going to create the document with the same ID, it will simply replace the existing ID that we have created into our collection. So if you want to add the new document inside your collection, then you have to create a unique document ID for that particular document. Okay, now I'm going to get that value again, and now it is saying New York that we have just added into our application. So guys, that's it for this. In the next video I'm going to teach you guys that how to update a particular field of a document inside your collections and how to delete a particular value from your collection. So see you guys in the next video.